Hi class, Scott McGilvery coming to you live/recorded from outside of Metro Detroit, home of the Detroit Red Wings. You're probably wondering why I was playing some music from a movie. Well, I'm going to tell you that in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you today about Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness. Joseph Conrad's The Heart of Darkness started out to bore me with the trivial details of the main character Marlowe's life. Then, it sparked my attention when Marlowe started to recall looking at some maps when he was a little chap. He talked about the many blank spaces that were on the maps and how they had been filled in with names since his boyhood years. I knew I was in for an adventure. He spoke of a few places that he picked out on the maps that he had hoped to go to. One place that piqued my interest was Africa. I quote, "There was in it one river especially, a mighty big river, that you could see on the map, resembling an immense snake uncoiled, with its head in the sea and its body at rest, curving afar over a vast country, and its tail lost in the depths of the land." After I read this description of the river, I was hooked. I had to know how Marlowe's adventure would unravel. What would he feel, smell, and see? As I began to read further into the story, the plot started to sound familiar to me. I started to think. The Heart of Darkness reminded me of a movie, Apocalypse Now. So I did a little research on the internet and discovered that Joseph Conrad's short story was developed into a movie by screenwriter John Milius, who had been inspired/challenged by a college professor, Erwin Black. Black had told his English class that no one had ever adapted Conrad's Heart of Darkness into a film, so the movie was written. The movie was produced by Francis Ford Coppola at a huge cost financially and mentally to himself, and after being released, the movie became critically acclaimed. Once I found out about the connection, I could see more and more similarities between the play and the movie. The way that the main character in both mediums was led further and further into the jungle and witnessed odd behaviors by the indigenous people and the mistreatment of the indigenous people. The character Kurtz was the mentally disturbed character in the book and the movie. In the movie, Marlon Brando played Kurtz. When I made the connection, I envisioned a piece of music from Apocalypse Now, The Ride of the Valkyries, composed by Richard Wagner, while I was reading, and I had to know how the story ended compared to the movie. And that's why I started out this little recording with some music by Wagner, because it reminded me of Apocalypse Now, just like Joseph Conrad's The Heart of Darkness. Thanks, class. Have a good summer.